Hello, good morning, peeps. It's Imperfect Future here. I'm back with another video for light smokers wanting to quit. This is a before you quit video. And remember, these videos are really targeted for people who are smoking 4, 5 to 8 cigarettes a day, definitely under 10. And these are my observations of what happened along the way before I gave up the ghost on the analogs real cigarettes. Break here. We're having our morning coffee. This is my favorite Joe, homebrewed, a little bit of Starbucks, some almond milk, and ground flaxseed meal for my first cup. I will provide links for that below. And right now, a vape off of my Halo G6. This is a Bavarian cream flavor, 6 milligrams, that I bought off of Mount Baker Vapor. Oh, this is good. And that's one of the things we'll be talking about that you're going to want to set up before you actually give it up. One of the things was I did start around February 7th or 8th, actually smoking eCigs, but it wasn't until around between the 12th and 15th. So we're going to say actually the 15th or 14th, some of those analog counters are a little bit off. So it should be officially the 15th of February that I actually stop the stinkies. And that's another word for regular cigarettes. And that's what you kind of need to do. You don't just jump in, buy something, and just quit, because then you're going to maybe not have the right flavor, the right setup, the right thing going for you. And those cravings are going to hit, and you're heading off down to 7-Eleven to pick yourself up a pack. You're upstairs to the neighbors begging for one, but they're only going to give you so many. And then you buy the pack, and heaven knows, you just can't, if you're sort of not rich like me, you can't justify the cost of having the pack and not finishing it. So you gotta really be wanting to quit, dedicated, and have these steps set up. So one of the things you're gonna want to make sure of is your nicotine level. The blue disposable I started off was 24 milligrams. That didn't do too much because I wasn't doing a lot of vaping. So that tasted great, did okay. Lots of people don't like the flavor of that cigarette. My sister's one of them, but I thought the blue disposable was fine. Tasted a little bit like coffee and chocolate, which is a lot of people's version of tobacco, because they're not really using a tobacco, so they have to kind of put something together to make it taste like tobacco. And 24 milligrams was fine. I had showed you the white cloud flings in an earlier video. I called them up. They were recommended. I thought I was going to stick with just the disposable cigarettes, and that would be fine. And they suggested that I start with the light, which was 12 milligram, but it turned out the day before I was going to quit, When I was pressing, especially during those periods of time when I'm drinking the coffee in the morning, when you first quit, and if coffee was a trigger for you like it was for me, you're going to be doing a lot of this, which is chain vaping. And like how that turned out. The 12 milligrams was fine, but for some strange reason, you've got to listen to your body. And as I was vaping more, it was giving me a headache. I wasn't tolerating it very much. So, I all of a sudden, in order to puff more, vape more, I needed to switch to 6 milligrams. Otherwise, I was getting sick, nauseated, and I couldn't adjust that craving. So, the day before and the day of my quit, on the 14th and the 15th, I made a scramble, so I had to buy a whole bunch more 6 milligrams from Halo. And also I went to a local brick and mortar store, the Vape Junction, and picked up 2 6 milligram bottles of e-juice. I do like variety. I hung on to the 12 milligrams of a tobacco flavor, and we'll get into flavors in a second. As I've progressed, and we'll get more into this in the after you've quit section, I've even ordered some 0 milligrams. In fact, part of that order, because I'd already ordered 30 milliliter bottle, 12 milligrams Belgian cocoa, which that stuff is darn good. So you don't want to waste it. I ordered 0 milligram of Belgian cocoa to cut it, which you can do. Some people, and I do have some bottles on the way for that, suggest that you actually put your mixes in other e-juice bottles and let them sit for a while to really mix. I just mix them in the tank. I have other tanks too, by the way. I have 2 MVP version 2s, 3 iClear 30s, and 2 Pro tanks, and I need another glass tank. So there's more to our progression, which we'll get into later. You don't have to worry about that right now. The Halo, if you've picked that up, and the flings, they're fine for a start out. But you want to make sure of those nicotine levels. The next thing you're going to do is those strong triggers. For me, it's first thing in the morning, coffee after meals. I picked a good tobacco flavor, which I had been lucky enough to order in the 6 milligram sample pack to couple with, so I got a 0 milligram of that to go along with some of the others, and that flavor was Tribeca from Halo. I'd also was using for coffee Snap flavor, which is sort of chocolate and peppermint, from White Cloud, but unfortunately they don't offer anything lower than 12 milligrams, and in their 0 milligram category, their flavors, because I was considering ordering their cartridges, but their flavors are nil, practically ugh, for 0 milligram. So for a light smoker, White Cloud is not that great for past the beginning stages. They're great to hang out. They're great for that first hit in the morning, because at that time I was hitting a little bit at the 12 milligrams for the strong urges. So you might want to have, when you first start, anywhere from 0 milligram, 6 milligram, and 12 milligram sitting around in different flavors. So don't order big bottles like I did. Get the smaller bottles. Get the smallest down at the vape store if you're going to the vape store. Get the small bottles and get different strengths. Sample packs are really good because you'll get a bunch of flavors. If you order some White Cloud Flings, get a whole bunch of different flavors like I did on one order. And we'll get into that in a review. So you'll want to do lots of different flavors so you can pick your favorite flavors for those strong urges. And what I found is that when I was really craving a cigarette, like this morning, first thing, I just sat down and I puffed on this one, to be precise. This style of e-cig. I just puffed on a Tribeca, which even if you've moved on to a mod, which an MVP2 is called, it's a mod, with clear misers and tanks, even if you've rebuilt your own, it doesn't mean you can't still use this. It's real easy to pick up, and you don't have to worry about the other tanks or anything like that. For water, if you don't want to spend a bunch of money on bottled water, I suggest you already have a Brita, which I did. Get a pure whatever. You're going to need lots of water, especially when I had a bad reaction and I had stomach cramps causing me not to be able to eat for several days. And that is probably because vaping too much, not drinking enough water, even though I'm about the most water drinking person you know. But you can sit there and get into your forums, get into your mixing, get into everything, and just forget to drink. Because for most of us, yes, you will want to get hooked up with the online vaping forums. Electronic Cigarettes Forums is one of them. Found another one, but I don't remember the name when the ECF was down, but I'll find them out and put them on my upcoming blog too. And as one of the person's SIGs put it, vaping these e-juices is our form of alternate nicotine replacement therapy, and ECF, the Electronic Cigarette Forum, is our support group. You're going to want to have these in hand. So you're going to want your water. If you are using your tanks and stuff like that, you're going to want to know how to clean them. I bought some cheap vodka. That's recommended. There are several YouTube videos, some of along the way, which I'll link to. Some I may show you later on how to clean the mini tanks. It was real easy. I didn't even bother to clean a Pro Tank, but I wasn't changing the flavor. I just pulled out the coil, washed that one, didn't even bother with the alcohol. Wasn't able to remove one of the pins, so I couldn't do a dry burn, but the wicks were still fairly clean on that one, so I pulled it out after 3 days. And it is recommended, though I don't do it with these. Okay, I'm bad. But it's recommended you do actually clean these every 3 days or so to keep them in optimal condition. Do a deep cleaning once a week. You're going to extend the life of your tanks, whatever, if you follow this simple cleaning. Now, of course, I have ordered the replacement coils to go along with the different tanks, but I only ordered one pack. And I've got about 13 of these. I did lose one to user error. When I was cleaning it, it made a bunch of cracks, and this little stopper, drip tip, whatever, wouldn't stay in, so it was actually a no-go. Oh. Now, when you're also working with this, see, this is an automatic battery. You're going to want to do this a bit. Do a little, there's a little taste condensation coming up here, so I'm going to do that. And that'll clean that out. If you do this as the tank gets lower, it extends the life, and you can actually smoke this, which I did to the previous tank with the Tribeca, fairly dry, and get it ready for cleaning. So as you can see, that's a little bit better vape. You're going to need enough cash to order all these different flavors, which, by the way, if you are smoking in my range of the 4 to 5, even up to 6, 7, or 8 a day, your initial investment into all this equipment and the flavors and stuff is not cheaper than smoking. You're going to have to look at this as a medical expense. I mean, I spent from $350 to $500 within the first month between various companies. I initially started with $350. Now it's up to $500, and closing in probably this month it'll be $600. Ongoing expenses, I'd like to get down to $60, and my position would get down to $0. But as you can see, it would take a long time if you're spending about $60 a month, like I was, on cigarettes. So was that 10 months to make up your initial investment, not to talk about the ongoing costs. So do not, and the forums will warn you about this, do not think of this as a money-saving effort on you first start. If you get one of those counters and it shows how much money you've saved, now all of a sudden I'm in the $40 range of so the amount of money I've saved. So if you get one of those counters, you can see the money grow, but when you first start, you're going to go, oh, let's see, it says I've spent $15 and some cents on cigarettes, and I've spent $600 on equipment. And also, when you come in and you bought some stuff and you're talking about it and you're complaining about the cost, they're going to rightfully tell you, and you're not done buying stuff, which I thought I was, being a newbie, and I wasn't. So just keep in mind, it's not cheaper. You're not going to save tons of bucks here. It will, but it works, and that is what is worth it. The sense of smell, the better taste, the better health. Everything is worth it to be able to do something inside instead of having to walk outside in the cold, or if poor folks, you do happen to be smoking inside with your pets, they're going to appreciate the vape much more. Especially if you get into the right PG levels, which we'll get into in the second video too. Anyway, that is about all I wanted to cover in this video. I hope it was a little bit helpful. Questions and comments, please leave below in the little box. Some of them like to call it a crotch box, but me, not so much. Just, comments. If you like, please give it a thumbs up. It's helpful. Please subscribe. I appreciate all the views, and you have a wonderful vape day. Ooh, let's have, well, first off, let's have another sip of this coffee. It's really good. My second cup, I actually, I use a little 4-cup coffee maker. My second cup, I actually use honey in this. But the first cup is just almond milk and flaxseed, which I discovered was a wonderful Ethiopian style of latte downstairs at an Ethiopian restaurant. It's not sweet, and it goes excellent with sweet things, which is why you're going to want something maybe sweet to go with the coffee after your first morning vape of tobacco flavors. So, oh, yes, there's a little bit of a coconut undertone under there. And you should see the clouds that come out of my MVP, but that's a teaser. Talking to you later. Bye.